At this point in the narrative, the Pharisees have come to Jesus to attempt to trap him into saying something that is against the scriptures. When the Pharisees ask Jesus what the greatest commandment is, they think they have him stumped and that he will be forced to make a choice of which command is the most important. But instead, Jesus overcomes their trap. He tells them that the greatest commandment is to love God. This does not put one commandment over another, but pulls all the commandments under one theme. This commandment is quoted from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. What better way for Jesus to answer their question than by quoting God the Father? This verse in Deuteronomy is called the Shema, and would have been recited several times a day by faithful Jews. After this verse, Jesus brings it all home by giving them the second greatest commandment, to love your neighbor as yourself, Matthew 22:39. All the law and the prophets depend on these two commands, verse 40. The law and the prophets refers to the Old Testament, so Jesus is saying that the whole Bible boils down to love God and love people. Have you ever had someone ask you what is your favorite verse? Even if you've never been asked before, you can probably come up with an answer pretty quickly. It may be a verse that helped you through a difficult time, the verse that reminds you of someone you love, or maybe it's the only verse you know. But have you ever had someone ask you what is your least favorite verse? If you have a top, that means you must have a bottom, right? By forcing Jesus to put one commandment first, the Pharisees think they are getting him to say that other commandments are less important. Jesus shows that this is an irrelevant question because all of the commandments have the same purpose behind them. All the commandments depend on loving God with everything. When you look at a tree, one way to tell that it is alive and thriving is to see its leaves. Does it mean that you should only look at one leaf and ignore the rest? Does it mean that you should pull off all the other leaves so that the one leaf you like gets the most focus? Does it mean that you need to find leaves to attach to the tree to help it grow? Of course not. All those options would be ridiculous. The leaves are all equally important, and they must stay connected to the tree in order to survive. Love for God is a Christian's trunk. If every action cannot be traced back to a love for God, then we are holding a leaf and will be left wondering why it's turning brown. You will become burned out trying to follow a list of rules that you don't understand the reasoning behind. As long as the base of everything you do is loving God with everything that you are, the rest will grow from that.